How you answer this one question will determine your success when it comes to your health and especially your diet. And that question is food is blank. There is so much you can unpack about how a person views their health by how they answer that question. The wrong way to answer that question is food is fun or food is entertainment. But it's not a surprising answer. It's not a surprising answer because so much of how we are marketed to understands that food is supposed to be fun. Watch any fast food ad and you will see that the feelings of how you are supposed to enjoy your food are broadcast to us endlessly by big food and the food industry in a way that when you don't enjoy your food, when food is not entertaining, it is not tasty. You can even fill in the blank with that. Food is tasty. That's when you get into trouble because then your expectation of what food ought to be doing when you consume it, if it doesn't satisfy that yummy, tasty, fun experience, then you're disappointed. But it is really clear that the entertainment value, or rather the more entertaining or the more it's designed to hit our the way it makes us feel, the way it makes us feel will ultimately fail you. And so then the food you end up eating will simply be consumed based on whether or not you like it or not, whether it tastes good or not. So then what is the real answer to that question? The right answer to that question is that food is fuel. Food is fuel. Now, again, that's not a fun answer, as it is with most things in life. But food is meant to fuel you. The minute you answer that question from the perspective of food is fuel, then things begin to change. Here's an easy example. Take the example of a car. In fact, I will use a personal example. I was in the south of Portugal, and because I didn't know enough Portuguese, when we went to a gas station, I was very insistent on not getting ripped off. And so when I went to this gas station attendant kept insisting that I use a particular type of fuel. And to be sure, I was so sure of myself. And I thought that the type of gasoline that this person was trying to get me to use was just way too expensive. And so I refused and I used this other pump. And those of you who are familiar with international travel know where this is going. Me, not thinking deeply about this, tried to fill my gasoline-powered car with diesel. See, in Portuguese, the word for diesel is gasoleo. Gasoline in Portuguese is gasolina. And because I didn't know the difference, I ended up filling my gasoline-powered car with diesel fuel. Not good. Luckily, I realized my mistake and I didn't drive the car, which if I had would have damaged it almost irreparably. And in that case, I end up literally with just a $400 bill versus possibly $1,000 or multi-$1,000 bill because the fuel that would have been running through the car would have not been the right type of fuel that that car needs. A diesel-powered car does not run on the same fuel that a gasoline-powered car does, and vice versa. So how does this relate to my example? A lot of the food that we are taking effectively does not fuel us. Or if it does, it reconfigures our bodies in ways that it was never evolutionarily designed to do. The immense amount of candy that is out there, again, food is fun. Food should be tasty. In this way, really at the end of the day, what Big Food and all these food companies are trying to do is they're trying to effectively addict you to the idea of food is fun because it tastes good and then it leaves you wanting more, when in reality, it doesn't fuel you at all. And so with sugar, we know especially highly processed sugar, not just in candy but in food, has serious deleterious effects on the body. And so for so many of us, we have failed to highlight one of the core issues of our time when it comes to our health, is that we allow ourselves to be marketed to in a way that does not proliferate the idea that food must fuel the human body. Very few of the things that we eat these days are really of the appropriate fuel for us. And so my question to you is, when you look at food, when you look at the things that you eat, are these things that you're consuming, are they fueling you, or are they just entertaining you? Because if they are, they are not giving you the fuel that you need. Because if I drove that car anywhere from 2 to 3 miles, the car would have broken down. The amazing evolutionary fact of our bodies is that it can evolve or it can adapt in short-term circumstances to certain food sources, and that's okay, because that's what allows us to be evolutionarily resilient. But to do it long-term goes against how our bodies have been designed from the get-go. And so my encouragement to you is, every time you eat, how do you think of the food in front of you? And if it's there to entertain you, if it has to always, now to be clear, look, I'm not saying it can't be entertaining at some points. Food is a very communal thing by definition. And so to the degree that we consume food and that the food provides us a venue by which we enjoy ourselves and enjoy people's company, that's great. But so much of how we understand food is simply about whether it tastes good to us, whether it's fun, whether it kind of hits that dopamine spot in our brain. But in reality, the way you understand food will eventually determine your health. So the next time you pick up that candy bar, again, this is not to guilt people, but it's to get us to be in a better place where we don't just fall into the same traps we've always fallen into. And so for year 47, this is something I want to take even more seriously, because I'm not getting any younger. I am not in a place where I can just enjoy food anymore. And the difficulty of this is, the earlier you get a hold of this, the better the rest of your life will be. It has multiplicative effects across your life going forward when you understand principles like this. So that's all I wanted to say on that, mostly because the mindset change for this is so important, that if you can grasp that as a sort of building block for the growth and the increase of your ability to be healthy, it's just so important that we can't even begin to understate it. Just thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, this is year 47. Change is possible. But remember, in order to do that, your food's got to be fuel.